Hello everyone, good evening, I'm Kamari and welcome back to the Tavern. Today we have a couple quick updates on Hogwarts Legacy, two in fact. One regarding a DLC coming in the form of pre-order content has been leaked over on Reddit. The second is the new rating given to the game by the PEGI system, which may infer that the story is going to be taking a darker turn than we previously expected. So I'm really excited to jump into this, I hope you guys are too. Welcome back to the Tavern again, and let's jump right into it. Please note that most of the stuff in this video will be speculative or based on leaks, so please keep that in mind and take everything you hear with a grain of salt. The first thing we're going to be covering will be the rating and potential story, because that will be the quicker item to cover. Essentially, the game has been tagged with a PEGI 16 rating. This tag is applied when, quote, once a depiction of violence or sexual activity reaches the stage that looks the same as would be expected in real life. The use of bad language in games with a PEGI 16 rating can be more extreme, while the use of tobacco, alcohol, or illegal drugs can also be present. Now, what does that tell us about the game and its story? Well, not much, but it does tell us that after reviewing the game in its entirety, the rating company decided it wasn't well suited for anyone under the age of 16. We've already seen a fair deal of combat, but not really much blood or gore or anything that would normally get this rating applied to a game. So that leads me to speculate that perhaps the story takes a more dark turn and picks up some themes that justify this rating. Some might think that's a far-fetched idea, however, if we look at the patterns in the source material we have to go off of, it would actually be pretty par for the course. In the Harry Potter story, it starts with some dramatic themes, but overall pretty light-hearted with overtones of bravery, courage, and friendship. But as the story goes on, we see each movie or book getting darker and darker, taking on much more serious themes. The themes of bravery, courage, and friendship are still there, but we see characters struggling with their darker thoughts. We start to see themes of betrayal, genocide, slavery, etc. Moving on to the Fantastic Beasts story, we see a lot of similarities here. The first part is pretty lighthearted and funny without many serious aspects, but as we move into the second and third acts of the story, it again takes on much darker and more serious undertones. Based on this and the rating, I think it's a safe assumption that what we've seen so far is the early game, where everything is still pretty lighthearted, but probably about halfway through the game we'll start to see much darker and more serious tones brought forward. This is even more credible due to the fact that we know we will be able to use the unforgivable curses if we choose to take our character down that path. So what do you guys think about this prediction? Let me know your thoughts down below and if you think I'm on the right track with this prediction. Now, personally, I would love to see this story about halfway through take a much more serious tone and even make the player question whether they're on the right side. With the Harry Potter movies, we had a very clear evil villain in Voldemort. Very one-dimensional. He was an amazing villain, but he was very one-dimensional. And then we had Grindelwald in Fantastic Beasts, who wasn't as one-dimensional or as evil. He was doing what he genuinely thought was best, but still his motives and the way he went about things was pretty evil. In this game, what they're setting up with this Goblin Rebellion and them working with the Dark Wizards and the evil forces, I think there's a real potential for a great setup that makes the player reflect on whether they're fighting on the right side. Maybe that goes into depth about why the Goblins teamed up with these Dark Wizards, why they're doing what they're doing, why they're going to these lengths. And maybe this Goblin that we see as the main villain portrayed so far is actually doing something that might be inherently right, but the way he's going about it is inherently bad. And I think those make for excellent villains when we see those in cinemas, in writing, in video games. It makes for very memorable villains that you think back and go, wow, have I been the one who's actually been fighting for the wrong side this whole time? And I think that would make an excellent moment within the game story, and I'd love to see something like that. But let me know what you guys are wanting to see from the story in this game. So now we'll move on into potential DLC or pre-order exclusive content that could be coming to the game. A post over on Reddit by user OPaleElement details how he used the game's website source code to find some potential pre-order exclusives that we could be seeing upon release. They include the Thestral Mount, the Dark Arts Cosmetic Pack, the Dark Arts Battle Arena, the Dark Arts Garrison Hat, 72-hour early access to the game, a Kelpie robe, a steel case, and a floating ancient magic wand with book. They go on to say that there are some separate labels of digital only and digital deluxe only, but there aren't any details about which extras those labels apply to, which ones will be included with which editions, or what editions of the game they'll even be offered. Naturally, one's assumption is that many of these would be attainable via microtransaction. However, the devs have reiterated multiple times that there will be no microtransactions within the game. My speculation isn't that any of these will be platform specific. For example, I don't think you can only get one on PlayStation and a different one on Xbox. Rather, I think it would be edition specific. If I had to guess, I would say it will probably look something like this. Standard pre-order gets you 72-hour early access. Deluxe edition gets you the mount, robe, and wand with early access. And collector's edition gets you the dark art stuff and everything else mentioned beforehand. As far as the steel case goes, that would probably be a Best Buy or GameStop exclusive or something like that. This is something I'm actually torn on because I love steel cases for games, but I know I'm going to want to have this game preloaded to play and probably even stream the moment it comes out. This also raises another question. If you go the route of the steel case, do you miss out on the early access? I'm curious as to what you guys think. Is the steel case worth waiting an extra 3 days or so to pick up the game from a physical location? Or will you be going digital for early access as well? Let me know your thoughts. So that's going to about wrap up all the news I have for you today regarding these topics. There are some other topics that I want to cover in the coming days and weeks. However, you probably won't see another video from me until Sunday, which is the next time I'll have a little bit of a break from work and not have any schoolwork that I have to get done as well. I have a very busy schedule. I do want to take a moment and thank everyone who has subscribed to the channel. I just hit 100 subscribers, which is fantastic. Put a lot of work and love into the channel, and I'm always trying to improve it. So thank you so much to everyone who's taken a moment to recognize that by hitting the subscribe button or even just commenting down below. I really appreciate all the feedback I'm getting. It's been overwhelmingly positive, people giving their thoughts, and it really, really means a lot to me. If you did enjoy the content, please check out some of my other Hogwarts Legacy videos I have on the channel. It's really becoming the main theme of the channel, which I'm super happy about because I love covering the game. Check out some of the other videos, and if it is something you're interested in too, maybe subscribe. And if not, then maybe go subscribe to another small creator because it really, really does help us out a lot. So with that, guys, I want to thank you all so much for stopping by the tavern this evening. It really, really means a bunch to me. I love you all, and have a great week.